Law of attraction, 3 tips for getting your brain on board. We are basically comprised of 2 parts, big us and little us. Big us is our soul, spirit, higher self, or whatever you want to call it, and is directly connected to all that is. This part of us is vibrating high and is pure love, happiness and all other sorts of warm fuzzies. It knows what a powerful creator we are, and that anything is possible for us. It knows our true purpose here is to create what we want, and simply be happy. Then there is little us, human us. This part is not totally connected to all that is. Our souls are so advanced and so confident in their ability to consciously create reality, they come here to exist in a form that basically forgets all of this, and is given the opportunity to rediscover if a particular person feels so inclined to go down that path. The mind, while it serves us well in countless ways, can really get in the way of this process of getting back in touch with big us and claiming our full power. We have been taught certain truths, and have seen plenty of proof of them, in our own life and that of countless others. We naturally rely heavily on logic, and something like law of attraction just doesn't seem to make any sense. This is something that is kind of beyond our grasp fully when you think about it. So I would like to add here that as you study it more, it will make more sense to you, but don't worry about totally understanding it to get it to work for you. Luckily that isn't necessary. I imagine most people get into their work with LOA because something within just clicks. This idea our thoughts, feelings and beliefs can help mold our reality beyond the obvious way of consciously influencing our decisions, just feels right to us. We may have already seen some proof of this here and there, and that just solidifies it. But, as we all know, even if intuitively we feel there is some truth to it, totally buying in immediately on a deeper level, doesn't seem to be happening so quickly. We have really deeply ingrained beliefs that have a huge amount of energy behind them. We are so used to thinking certain thoughts, we just go there automatically. It just seems too good to be true. And so the struggle begins between mind and spirit. This can be super frustrating because you now know you are calling the shots, and you get pissed at yourself for messing it up. You just can't seem to get out of your own way, and this just intensifies all the negativity you may be feeling. Feeling badly makes you feel even more badly, and this just moves us further away from everything we want. That damn brain of ours insists on coming to the party, as unwelcome as he may be sometimes. But the good news is, we can start getting lots of great stuff even if little us hasn't fully bought into this whole conscious creation thing. We don't need to obliterate every obstacle in a particular area of life to start seeing results. Our manifestations may be a bit more limited in the sense that we may close off some pathways, but we can still open up plenty. For example, let's say you got really good at shifting your energy in regards to becoming more financially successful at your sales job, but still weren't quite convinced that universe was the true source, and everything else was mere channels. You start killing it with more clients and your commission gets a nice boost courtesy of increased sales of bigger ticket products and services, but you probably wouldn't experience many money manifestations from out of nowhere. You might still be working a bit harder than necessary, but things have gotten a lot better, so it's still awesome. Here are a few tips I would like to offer for getting your brain on board for this process. But first, I wanted to remind everyone about my free manifesting money call I'm doing tonight, January 26th from 8 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You don't need to register, just follow the link provided here at the time of the call. You will have an opportunity to ask question through a chat feature or directly if you so choose. And back to winning the battle with your brain. Reconditioning your subconscious with affirmations. I know affirmations get a bad rap, but when done right, they can be incredibly effective. One of the big problems with affirmations is our brain tends to argue with the statements. We are saying things that aren't true in this immediate reality, and it will not hesitate to point this out to you immediately. But, when we craft them properly, they can be an awesome tool for planting new beliefs and thought patterns into our subconscious. That part of us where our life experiences, and what we were taught by others, created a mishmash of limiting, and sometimes, downright silly beliefs, about being defective, not good enough, not deserving of love and happiness, not being able to be financially successful. Oh boy, that list could go on and on. Deliberately focusing on more empowering beliefs and feelings is a necessity, and affirmations can help us do it. Don't make statements that you really truly can't buy into. If you are barely able to pay your bills, saying over and over you are overflowing with abundance probably won't feel so great. But what might feel good is saying something like, I easily accept new thoughts about abundance and am ready to receive more money. Some people find saying them in the second or third person as helpful, as if the big you or the universe were telling you these things are going to happen for you. If you feel really resistant to I am or I have type statements, you may enjoy just saying words that represent what you want, without inserting yourself into the equation at all. What words represent what you want to create? Wealth, abundance, confidence, peace, trust? Identify the ones that are most relevant to your situation and just say them to yourself a few times a day for a few minutes. Affirmations are great for when you first wake up and when you are starting to fall asleep. In these moments, your mind is in a more relaxed state where it is much more open to suggestion. They are great to say when you feel your mind going off in a negative direction. The statements or words can shake you loose from that train of thought, or at the very least, reduce the intensity if you are really feeling sucked in. Look for proof of the new beliefs. Before discovering law of attraction, I imagine most people's lives weren't just one giant ball of misery. You may have been living largely unconsciously, but this doesn't mean you were completely devoid of any positive beliefs, happy moments and good experiences. Visualizing, affirmations, and other tools designed to condition your mind to accept new truths are extremely powerful. But their effectiveness can be stunted by your brain's inability to accept said truths with ease. It will automatically throw together a catalog of all the experiences that contradict this, and will do a very good job of convincing you that this is all there is to show you. So, one of the best ways to get your brain on board is to remind it of incidents that prove this new, more empowering belief has something to it. No matter what it is you are trying to attract, I assure you there is some experience in your past that supports the idea it is possible for you. If you are bummed because you only ever seem to have just enough money, I am sure there were plenty of times when you had more than enough and were able to do something fun like take a vacation. If you have a savings account, regardless of how little may be in there, that is also proof. Maybe you have not experienced a time where you had thousands of extra dollars, but there were times when you certainly had more than just what you needed to pay bills and other expenses. So, yeah, you have already experienced having more than enough. Maybe you have always been attracted to the bad boys, and this has led to nothing but relationship disaster, and you are convinced you will not find anyone that is truly good for you. But then looking back on it, you remember all the nice guys who expressed interest, but that you weren't interested in because, well, they were nice, and that was just a huge turnoff. Us ladies can be totally nutso sometimes when it comes to guys, am I right? So, yeah, those guys gravitated into your experience in the past, and they can again. No matter how small something may be, it is significant in that it can support this new belief. It will appease your brain, and make it much more malleable. It won't fight you as much. Practice feeling and thinking positively. The idea we have to practice feeling good and thinking positively is quite strange, and a bit sad, but we kind of have to. Whatever negative thoughts, beliefs and feelings you have now have a hell of a lot of power behind them. They have been with you for years and years. You are so used to thinking and being a certain way, just totally jumping the negativity ship for the shores of positivity is not likely to happen in practice. One of the things people lament the most about their struggles with attracting the things they want is how hard it is to shake their negative thoughts and beliefs. Yeah, it can be tough. But one of the reasons it is so hard is because we have very little experience with deliberately focusing on the good stuff. There is very little momentum behind these kinds of thoughts, feelings and beliefs, and we can get sucked back in the other direction no problem.
We automatically go to the negative because that is the way we have always went.
At the core, it is really just mental laziness when you think about it. At first, we need to make some conscious effort go to our happy place. We need to overcome our mental laziness and actually practice focusing positively. It might feel really weird and uncomfortable at first to go there, we are not used to it. It may feel off. But the more momentum you build behind the good stuff, the more your mind will travel there naturally. You'll gradually weaken the momentum behind the negativity, and even when you get caught up in it, and you will sometimes, it doesn't feel as strong. You won't stay there as long. Moving back to the positive focus will not feel like such an effort, it will be more like gliding, rather than trudging. Here's the thing that is so important to remember: thoughts are manifestations of our energy. If you are managing to think positive thoughts, you are in a higher place energetically in that very moment. You are beginning the process of aligning with what you want. You just have to keep up with it. You just have to keep going. This deliberate act of shifting your focus, even if just for a few minutes at a time, is more powerful than you can imagine. So, spend some time getting into the warm, fuzzy feelings and thoughts that support getting what you want. Let your visualizations go wherever your mind takes you. You are trying to get into the feelings of what it is you want, so don't worry if what you are thinking about is not realistic or matches exactly what you want to create. If you are thinking about opening a women's clothing store, it is okay to have fun, and think about hot men serving champagne while they shop. Don't worry too much about getting too specific, unless it feels really good. Specifics can really activate our jerky brain because the more details there are, the more there is for it to fight us on. For example, you might envision yourself becoming more successful with your business, but if you start thinking about specifics, like creating new products or programs, when you really have no clue now how you would do that, it probably won't feel that good. Envision yourself just sharing your expertise, maybe you are giving an interview or talking with a client. Don't underestimate the power of doing this. You would be amazed at how quickly your energy can shift, and how fast you will start to see little signs that you are lining up with what you want. In closing, your mind is going to fight you on all this attraction stuff. It is just part of the process. Gaining some degree of acceptance about this can go a long way in reducing the frustration that pops up when our brain just won't cooperate, because anytime we accept something, rather than hate it and fight it, it becomes much easier to deal with it. Try not to hate your mind so much. Ultimately, it is just trying to help, and it doesn't have nefarious intentions. Kind of like when I was just trying to help my mom clean when I was little by pouring Comet all over the carpet, or help her make breakfast by cracking a whole carton of eggs on the kitchen floor. Show a bit more compassion for your brain, and let it know everything is going to be okay, and that what you are trying to accomplish is a good thing.